Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare. So settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh, yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Think you can hear me? Oh, no, you can now. Okay, I think you can hear me now. Okay. Yes, I touched the microphone right before it started, and so it cut out. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm going to touch the microphone again. Hold on. Okay, all right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, welcome to my home. Welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. I've got something a bit different today. For a long time, I had made sure that we were focused on either some kind of, some kind of tabletop game, especially RPG. But today, we're doing something a little bit different, although it is kind of connected because it has to do with world building. We have a world building element here. We've been doing that on the show. So actually that kind of connects here, but I didn't do a show on Wednesday because I realized that I've wanted to do letters from Santa Claus, to send out letters to Santa Claus to like the nieces and nephews and things like that. Excuse me. For a while, and it's just never happened in any particular Christmas. And then I just realized, especially like a few days ago this week, that I was like, you know what? I have just enough time probably to put together letters from Santa Claus for this year. And so I didn't stream Wednesday morning because I was like, wait a minute, I've got to like source components and do things and see if I can get this underway. And I've been pretty successful at it, and I think I can do that this year. So what I thought that we would do today is look at the letters and try to write, maybe try to write one live here. I'll show you what I'm doing here. And also like trying to develop like some Santa Claus lore. I've been actually deep into that, and that's what I've been thinking about for like the last couple of days, 2 or 3 days, really. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. Trying to come up with good Santa Claus lore. Also trying to come up with something that is traditional Christmas, because I like traditional. Christmas is probably my favorite holiday. I like Christmas. So something that's traditional Christmas, but that is also something that is the kind of thing that I like, and a lot of us probably on this channel like, that is, has a little bit of a twist to it, that kind of brings it into harder core fantasy and stuff. But also the trick is also not too hardcore, right? Not too hardcore. Oh, hey, PH, good morning. It's great to see you. So, like, for instance, I have this. I was looking this up. It seems like a lot of things I was realizing come back to The Hobbit. Santa Claus needs to have some enemies and needs to be fighting something or something. But that doesn't mean that you have to. Well, I'm looking through The Hobbit right now. I was looking for this. Oh, right here. I've just found the section that I was looking for. Yeah, sometimes I was joking with people. I was like, Santa Claus can, have some kind of opponent up there. And I had been thinking for a long time, actually for several years, I had this in the back of my mind, like, what could Santa Claus be fighting up at the North Pole, or could be his opponent? Of course, you do have the Krampus and all of that I think could be integrated. But, I do think about The Hobbit. And for some reason, as a kid, this always stood out to me when I was reading The Hobbit. And it said, this is in the chapter Queer Lodgings, when Bilbo is talking to Bjorn. He says, Bilbo says, what did you do with the goblin and the warg? Asked Bilbo suddenly. Come and see, said Bjorn, and they followed round the house. A goblin's head was stuck on a gate, and a warg skin was nailed to a tree just beyond. Bjorn was a fierce enemy. And, for some reason, that kind of seems like a Santa Claus element to me. That there's like something that you could do, like, okay, could you draw inspiration from something like Bjorn and his, to Santa Claus? I mean, I don't know. That was just an initial kind of thought here. So, but anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. So we got lots of people here. Inner Light, is great to see you. Inner Light is back. It is great to have you here. Welcome. Better with Bacon is here. We have Mike and Tomocrat. And Stray, welcome, Stray. Stray got one of the Cultist Lawn Care hats, so it's in the process of getting out to Stray. So the Cultist Lawn Care. I haven't worn this. I was going to go up to the winery at some point. Of course, it's winter now, so we're not really working outside, like, on the grounds or something like that. But I'm going to take this Cultist Lawn Care hat, because when it's time to cut grass up there, like, I need to be wearing like the Cultist Lawn Care hat. Letters from Cthulhu. That seems like something that goes on later, and continuing the tradition. But see, okay, like Tomocrat says, like, isn't Santa Claus a fae from the Winter Court? Like, how do you handle Santa Claus? And come up with some really good lore around him. I have not rewatched this show yet. But actually, I didn't realize that Rankin and Bass were the ones who did, like, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And it seems like I keep coming back to that one from a lore perspective, because they seem like they did a pretty good. Of course, they were also the ones that the animated Lord of the Rings, right? And I didn't know that. So they were interested in Lord of the Rings and Christmas, but they also seem like they did a pretty good job with Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I'm probably going to see if I can find that and watch the whole thing, integrating a lot of Santa Claus lore, right? Okay, so and I've sort of drawn on that. So they were doing that. They were coming up with, like, it seemed like, why is his name Kris Kringle and Santa Claus, and trying to come up with reasons for that. Oh, Better with Bacon says, I generally love Christmas. Santa, excuse me, the saint, the history, the legend, the myth. Yeah, and how do we integrate the sainthood into that as well? When I was in the Episcopal church, I remember, I don't know, do a lot of different churches do this, or especially Episcopal churches, or mainly Episcopal churches? I don't know. Maybe this was just something that we did. I don't know. But I remember when I was attending an Episcopal church on Christmas Eve, we would go to Christmas Eve service, and that was the candlelight service. And that when we had the Eucharist, the Santa Claus would appear, and it was in excuse me again. A big deal wasn't kind of made out of it, you know. But then after everyone had taken the Eucharist, Santa Claus would appear in the door, and then you had to kind of like, oh my, there he is. Santa Claus would appear at the door at the back of the church, and that he would walk down the aisle and then kneel at the altar and be administered the Eucharist, and then he would turn around and wave as he left, to go on his flight, right? And I always liked that. One of my grandfathers was kind of surprised. He was like, Santa Claus? So that didn't happen in the Methodist church, or at least the Methodist church that I went to as well. My father at the time went to an Episcopal church. So when I was at his house, we went to an Episcopal church. And then my mother went to a Methodist church. So I went to a Methodist church when I was with her. That didn't happen in the Methodist church. And my mother's father, my grandfather, was like, Santa Claus comes to Christmas. And he was a little bit shocked by that. And I was kind of surprised by that, just based on, him. So, he was Episcopal, actually, before he came over to the Methodist church. So I guess it didn't ever happen at his Episcopal church. But he was kind of surprised by that. And he went, Santa Claus comes to the church service? And he was like, I said, why are you surprised or whatever? This was a long time ago. And he was like, well, Santa Claus is kind of like secular Christmas, and then, then there's a religious. And I did point, and then what I said is, well, he is a saint. And my grandfather went, oh, yeah. So his initial reaction was, okay, well, Santa Claus and church services don't really go together. But then, oh, yeah, he's a saint. And so I kind of want to pull that, together. But, even if he wasn't, kind of what I liked about it was that unification of kind of the secular element of Christmas with some type of, even Santa Claus spends a few minutes to, take communion before he goes out to, deliver presents and things like that. And I really like that. Let's see. I'm still trying to work on some of the music videos. Innerlight says that the Cthulhu Mythos music, time for the breakout Cthulhu Mythos Christmas music. Of course, I would love to be able to remaster the Jingle Bell Cthulhu before Christmas, but now I started this and I haven't been able to even work on the other music videos, so I don't know. But I do like these. Oh, Little Town Beneath the Waves and Fear to the World. Let's see. People talking about, what does Santa Claus drink? I don't know. Hey, good morning, Brett. So let's see. Yeah, eggnog is potentially alcoholic, right? You can spike it. Good morning, Jason. Good morning. Let's see. Oh, Doc Flamingo sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. So there was Santa in, wait, what is Danang? Surrounded by dead, burning bodies. And I would like to connect it to the bishop of Santa Claus is also a bishop. I've tried to do that as well. We will see. So that, but what is am I supposed to know what that is? Hang on. Let me look. Wait, was this Vietnam? That has a space between D and N. I don't know if Santa Claus needs to go to Vietnam. That's where we're going here. Let's see here. Yeah, yes, that's one I need to read too, or watch again. It's been forever since I've seen that. And someone was asking me, yeah, wait a minute. Okay, there's Santa Claus, because I thought somebody was saying, go reference, this was somebody I was talking to over the weekend, go reference the Santa Claus, because there's the Tim Allen. Like, as far as how does Santa Claus keep going and how does he become timeless? There's the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Yeah, Santa Claus with Tim Allen. But then there is Santa Claus the movie, and I was like, I remember watching that a long time ago, but I remember almost nothing about it. So Santa Claus the movie, I think I also need to reference that. Santa Claus the movie. That was 1985. It's telling me here. Santa Claus the movie, a very classic looking Santa Claus. Now, James Bacon's talking about the red of Santa Claus in association with Coca-Cola, I see in the comments. So I'll say classic looking Santa Claus. He's in his red outfit here. Oh, wait, what does this say? Reddit says, today I learned that despite being commonly ranked as one of the worst Christmas films ever made. What? The Santa Claus the movie? I don't know. I know I've seen it, but it's been a long, long time. And I was wondering if that needed to be something to be watched for this kind of project. So that Santa Claus the movie is actually bad? It depicts the origin of Santa Claus and his modern-day adventure to save Patch, one of his elves, who has been manipulated by the BZ, an unscrupulous toy company executive. Okay. Inner Light says, one of the trials of Hercules was to defeat the river god, wait, how do I pronounce that? Achilles? Who was originally shown as a man with a flowing white beard and a green hooded robe holding a cornucopia overflowing with food and many good things. Doc Flamingo says, the old Twilight Zone with Art Carney was the best Santa Claus origin story. Oh, no, Tomocrat says Santa Claus the movie is one of my faves. The one that I'm referring to is Dudley Moore and John Lithgow. Yeah. Okay. So that was just something that came up when I Googled it. I guess I hadn't heard. It's been forever since I've heard that. So, plot in the Middle Ages, somewhere in Northern Europe, a woodcutter named Claus delivers hand-carved toys to children of his village each Christmas, accompanied by his wife Anya and their reindeer Donner and Blitzen. Upon attempting to cross a forest, they all succumb to the cold, where their sleigh is caught in a blizzard and awaken to the North Pole, whose every inhabitant becomes immortal. They are greeted by resident elves whose leader Dooley tells their coming was prophesied, and that Claus's destiny is to deliver elven-made gifts to all the children of the world. better things as I say good movie, but in this context, I mean passable and entertaining. Okay, yeah, I need to watch that one because of this project, like probably soon. I need to rewatch Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and then also this one right here, the Santa Claus the movie. Okay, let's go ahead and do a breathe and sip, and then I'll show you what I got here. So here is breathe and sip. I've got Cultist. Oh, I got my shirt matched to my drink this morning. Oh, speaking of all of this, I did get in all of the Cthulhu ABC's books that need to go out for the Kickstarter. I am still waiting for the new proofs to ship. I'm expecting soon, because those were ordered about 4 days after those Cthulhu ABCs, and the Cthulhu's ABCs have arrived. So I'm expecting soon to get those new proofs, and I hope I can approve them and then, like, that same day order everything necessary for the Kickstarter. So I'm in a holding pattern. So that's what's going on there. Okay, so here we go. Let's breathe and sip. Let's take 2 deep breaths, deep inhales, complete exhales, and then take a sip of my favorite movie. My favorite movie. I'm here get caught up in the comments here of your favorite beverage. Okay, so here we go. Let's breathe. And sip. All right. So let's see here. So what I decided to do was right. That's exactly the one that I was talking about. Yeah, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I've been watching snippets of it because I remember a few things from that one, and I'm like, oh yeah, it seems like they're really trying hard to integrate a lot of Santa lore here. So I'm going to watch the whole thing, and you'll see in these letters that I've got some of the Santa Claus is Coming to Town reference that kind of expands on that a little bit. Okay, so what I decided to do, I had to set all this up. I had to source all of the components, which is what I was doing last week. Is this. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I need to send out. I'm going to send out Santa letters to the nephews and nieces before they're too old to appreciate it or anything like that, which some of them already are, but you know, but I said, hey, if I'm going to do this, then I will send it out to everybody. So anybody who wants Santa Claus letters. So I also went ahead. Not only did I source all the components, start writing all of it, but I put it up on ravenkeep.net. Right there. Is that it's got a whole bunch of garbage on the URL. There we go. So I put it up on ravenkeep.net, and I haven't emailed anybody about it. I haven't told anybody about it. I think I may have actually made one Facebook post, the Ravenkeep Facebook page that nobody ever looks at and nobody cares about. So nobody saw it. But I decided, okay, we'll send this out. And then while I am mailing, I've got until December 1st to get everything together, with the first letter going out December 1st. So this is a series of letters here. So right here. So if you just need, hey, I want letters from Santa Claus to appear. Okay, then I'm just going to mail them out. They're going to mail out December 1st, December 9th, and December 17th. No, that's exactly what I'm doing. Mike says, when I heard Santa letters, I imagined a written letter you sent to a kid. That's exactly what I'm doing. I am sending, excuse me, I'm writing these to send to kids. Right. So if you need a Santa letter sent to a kid, but I was like, why don't I put this up? Because if I go to all the trouble to make all these letters, write them out and things like that to send to my nephews and nieces for Christmas, why not see if anybody else needs letters from Santa as well sent to a kid? So if you need them, I'm putting it all out there. So here's the idea. So letters from Santa. Every kid gets 3 letters from Santa. You get the printed letter, of course. Each beautifully printed letter tells part of Santa's story as he prepares for his flight on Christmas Eve. The elves are hard at work. The Winter Warlock from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The Winter Warlock is creating the magic corn that lets reindeer fly, and a few mischievous gremlins are causing havoc behind the scenes. I think that the evil counterpart to the elves needs to be a gremlin. Okay, so we got mischievous gremlins causing havoc behind the scenes. Will Santa and the elves undo their mischief in time to take the skies on Christmas Eve? Your child will find out as the story unfolds letter by letter. So letter 1, greetings from the North Pole, to send out December 1. The Christmas season begins. Santa invites your child into the spirit of Christmas and spirit of giving and wonder while hinting at strange happenings in the North. Includes letter from Santa, a sticker sheet, and a coloring page. So I was also sourcing these and seeing if I could come up with a sticker sheet that I could have made that will fit directly into an envelope that I don't have to cut up and stuff like that. So I was working on the sticker sheet and getting it priced. Like, how do you get a nice sticker sheet that will just slide into the envelope, and a coloring page? So there you go. So that would be like letter 1 that goes out December 1st. Then you get letter 2, Tales from Santa's Workshop. The elves are hard at work, and the Winter Warlock makes his first appearance. In this one, you get a second authentic letter from Santa Claus, second sticker sheet, a second coloring page, and then also I am making myself try to finish this story. I made myself finish the Christmas story about the angels a while ago, and I can't believe that was 2 years ago. But I have this other story called Purr the Christmas Kitten that I was writing, and I was like, this needs a long time ago. I was like, I need to finish that as well. So in order to force myself to finish that, I'm going to put Purr the Christmas Kitten into letter 2. This is a mini storybook about Purr the Christmas Kitten who is looking for a home for Christmas and finds it up at Santa's workshop. So there'll be a little, and that I was looking at that, and that only needs to be about 750 words. So it's like a 5-minute read or something for bedtime. There's only so much story you can write in 750 words. So I was working on that. Maybe next morning grind, we take a look at the Purr the Christmas Kitten, because I got to get that finished. But I was pricing a printer who can get it done in like a small, like mini storybook size, because that needs to mail like December 9th. And so I got to get those printed and those to go in an envelope. Then on Christmas Eve, or not, well, it won't mail on Christmas Eve, but then the final one, Christmas Eve flight. It'll have to mail before that, obviously. Santa sends his final letter about final preparations for his Christmas Eve flight. Letter, sticker sheet, coloring page, and then a packet of magic corn mix. So that's also, the Santa Claus is coming to town. So you get magic corn to scatter for the reindeer. Or you could put it out, by Santa Claus's cookies or something like that. So they send you some magic corn because, hey, it is the elves who are working here. I mean, not the elves. It is the reindeer who are really working on Saturday evening. Good Lord. Christmas Eve. So they could get something special too. So that's what I was trying to do. And I was like, okay, let me also, I'll just set this up for everybody and see if anybody else needs letters from Santa Claus sent to a kid. And if they do, we will do it. So I'm going to bring up these right here. Oh, yeah. Well, I was looking at bookmarks too, like Santa Claus bookmarks. I was looking at those too. For what I was doing over here. So let me take this down. Let me stop screen sharing that. And I'm going to bring up one of the letters. Yes. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. So I got this. I decided not to go calligraphy, and this because for the whole thing, because I want it to be easier read. I remember that my nephews had problems reading like nice calligraphy and or script. And I don't want to make that too difficult. So something like this. From the desk of Santa Claus, the Great Workshop, North Pole, December 1st snowfall. My dear friend, the first winter snows have fallen across the North Pole, blanketing the rooftops of the toy workshops and turning the forests to glittering silver. The reindeer are restless in their stables, pawing the snow and snorting little clouds into the frosty air. The elves have returned from their summer journeys and are hard at work shaping toys of every kind. The elves are busy polishing sleigh bells, painting toys, and singing old carols. I can hear their hammering laughter and cheerful hum of happy spirits in the great workshop. The smell of peppermint and pine fills the air, and even the stars seem to twinkle a little brighter each night. Christmas is certainly coming, and that makes me very happy. But something strange is happening. The forge fires gutter and flare without wind, and several hammers have gone missing from the anvil stands. In the Starlight Chapel, a handful of candles vanished from the altar during the night, although no one has entered since evening prayers. And someone has been leaving tiny footprints in the snow near the reindeer pen that are distinctly not elfin. Whoever or whatever is giving the reindeer quite a spook. The elf Findral, my stable master, has urged me to speak with the Winter Warlock about these troubles. The Warlock knows the ways of snow and ice better than anyone at the pole, having lived in his icy fortress in the mountains for so long. Perhaps he'll have some idea about what's behind these odd happenings. I have enclosed a coloring page from the workshop and stickers the elves made while testing their new printing press. I hope they bring a bit of North Pole cheer to your home while we work to keep the magic bright here. In the meantime, keep your Christmas spirit bright, help others, share kindness, and spread joy wherever you can. Stay merry, brave, and full of wonder. That's the truest magic of all. I will write again soon with more news from the North. With warmth and wonder, Santa Claus, a.k.a. St. Nicholas, a.k.a. Father Christmas. P.S. The elves say wondrous things are drawn to strong Christmas spirit. So if you see a flicker in the frost or hear bells when no one's there, don't be afraid. It may just be magic on the move. Let's see. So a couple of things here. So I have this is something that I have been this is a battle I have been losing, and that is, does Santa Claus have elves or does he have gnomes? I kind of think that Santa Claus has gnomes. When I think of elves, I think of like Tolkien elves and things like this. I don't think about elves as being like, okay, what has Santa Claus got? I'm like, well, in the context of an elf being something like a Tolkien elf, why shouldn't Santa Claus have gnomes? But I am losing that fight with the general population. it seems like the idea that Santa Claus has Christmas elves is too ingrained in this in Christmas, in classic and traditional Christmas. So okay, I guess that these need to stay elves. Well, I mean, there could be both elves and gnomes. There could be both elves and gnomes, but it seems like the references to Christmas elves need to stay. That just for maximal recognition for everyone. So okay, so I left the elf here, but he's the stable master. Well, the or dwarves. Now, they could be dwarf-like. You're right. I mean, they could be. There are a lot of elements that are also kind of dwarf-like. Yeah, they don't have like beards and stuff, and like Santa Claus is coming to town. I don't know if they don't have like the elf on the shelf doesn't have a beard, but gnomes would be Santa's metal workers, and the elves would be the woodworkers. So I also put in here the cross. So I put a cross before Santa's name here because that's what the bishops do, right? The priests put a cross after his name, after their name, right over here. But then the bishops put the cross before his name. So I just put that in here to hint at Santa Claus's status as a bishop as well, because St. Nicholas being the bishop of Myra, right, in Turkey. And like how, like I said, like how you connect Santa Claus, this guy in the North Pole, with this magic to, I guess it was 4th century. He's from the 300s, I think. So I guess 4th century Turkish bishop or bishop in Turkey. You know, he's Greek, I believe. But how you do that, that's kind of difficult. But if it is kind of the same person, I've got some kind of ideas there. But if it is the same person, then Santa Claus could still be a bishop. And in fact, I was thinking in the lore here, why don't we make Santa Claus in today's world one of the only 2 remaining prince archbishops? He needs to become like an archbishop. So he's like Archbishop of the North Pole. But I had ChatGPT brainstorm a bunch of different potential names for Santa's bishopric at the North Pole. So I thought, why don't we make him the Prince Archbishop of the North Pole? In keeping with his status. So he does have clerical status. That's kind of blending these things together as well. Oh, thank you. Better with Bacon says, I really like this, Heath. You nailed the voice. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. So like that would get it started off. So that, to me, that's a good letter from Santa Claus. You know, I don't know, there are probably other places that do letters from Santa Claus, but you're probably going to get something really generic and boring. So I was trying to do something that was more like the fantasy crowd would appreciate, and it had some depth to it, you know. Like we could do you know, I used to write for the Journey of the Tree of Sorrows, all the Cthulhu lore, which never really got out, still sitting over there with David. But I think you could do the same thing with kind of Christmas here. I'm considering changing this. I said we have the Starlight Chapel right here, but Santa Claus needs to have there needs to be a basilica up north too. Like if Santa Claus is going to be a bishop, then there needs to be a cathedral up at the North Pole, like an icy cathedral that could look really cool if it were ever like, you know, illustrated or, you know, something like that, some type of major basilica. So I was kind of thinking this would be like just the smaller chapel that's off by the workshop that the elves use and things like that. But Santa Claus as an archbishop would need to have a really cool, probably basilica, I think. Santa Claus can be traced to a line of Odin. He's a winter wanderer who wears blue, green, or brown and visits homes, sometimes bringing gifts. The Bishop of Myra was canonized as the patron saint of children, so mapping one to the other was fairly effortless. You know, the cauldron that brings people back to life, that showed up in some Rabavania stuff I was working on, and I think it needs to show up with Santa Claus again. Now here's like the more difficult, like the harder core elements of Santa Claus. When like I think it was Saint Nicholas who was there was a famine or something, and this butcher had cut up a bunch of children and was going to sell their meat as pork meat during the famine. But St. Nicholas found out that this butcher had, cut up these kids and took all the parts of the kids and put them in like basically a cauldron or something and brought the kids back to life. So maybe Santa Claus has the cauldron that's like this, that's which also sounds kind of which echoes like the cauldrons of like Celtic lore too. But at the moment, okay, Starlight Chapel. I didn't know if I need to bring in the big basilica, but that would be something that could be done later. So that's what I'm kind of thinking with letter number 1 right here. I do have letter number 2. Let me see. See if I can get it up. Let me take this down. Okay, right here. Oh, no, that's not right. Should be this one. This one should be number 2. Yes, okay. From the desk of Santa Claus, the Great Workshop in the North Pole. And this one's a little bit long. I got to keep it to 1 page. I want to keep it to 1 page. Maybe we can edit it here. From the desk of Santa Claus, the Great Workshop, North Pole, December, mid-Advent. My dear friend, much has happened since our last letter. The snowstorms have grown wilder and strange blue lights have danced across the sky, brighter than I've seen in many years. Fendrel keeps the reindeer calm, though he swears he's heard whispering in the wind when the bells go still. As promised, I took the sleigh and traveled through the mountain passes to visit the Winter Warlock. His fortress rises from the cliffs like a crown of ice, with windows that shimmer like frozen stars. The Warlock greeted me warmly, though I could tell something weighed on his mind. He said the season's magic feels uneven, as if something small but troublesome has been tampering with it. While I was there, the Winter Warlock showed me the great crystal cauldron where he brews his magic corn, the shimmering feed that gives the reindeer their ability to fly on Christmas Eve. The mixture sparkled like starlight and smelled faintly of peppermint frost. Yet even the Warlock has not been spared the mischief that's plagued the pole. Strange drafts keep snuffing out his runes of warmth, and he swears he's heard tiny voices laughing in the rafters. The trouble has slowed his work, but he promises the corn will be ready in time, and that he'll bring it to the workshop before Christmas Eve. I told him we'd keep a lantern burning in the staple of the Starlight Chapel to guard his way. Back home, the mischief has spread to the brewer's hall and the potion master's wing. Casks of cider had turned weak and clear as water, and the potion master found every bottle of moonlight ink uncorked and emptied in the snow. As he inspected the spilled ink, a long, sharp icicle fell from the gutter and nearly struck him. The elves now keep watch in pairs, for none can say where the trickery will strike next. Still, there's laughter between their worries, and everyone is ready for Christmas to arrive. I've enclosed a storybook that tells one of our favorite North Pole legends, along with a new sticker sheet from the elves. I hope they bring you cheer as Christmas draws near. Keep your spirit bright, my friend. The world needs every spark of kindness this time of year. With warmth and wonder, Santa Claus, a.k.a. St. Nicholas, a.k.a. Father Christmas. P.S. The Winter Warlock says, if your windows frost in curious shapes, look closely. You might glimpse the shimmer of magic drifting on the wind. So I need to cut some stuff out of that because I got to get this sitting on 1 page. And I kind of like the way that this is, like the font size and things like that. If I just took out that, for instance. Oh, no. This should be and coloring page. Yeah, okay. So I still got to figure out, get 2 more lines on this. But anyway, so then the next one clearly needs to be like, how long have we been going here? The next one needs to be to like resolve. They find out that there are these gremlins. Maybe Santa Claus doesn't actually start staking the gremlins out, on a spear outside. But they run the gremlins off. Whatever. The Winter Warlock needs to come in with his sleigh and bring all of the magic corn. They test the magic corn. The reindeers can fly, and then they're all ready for Christmas Eve. And then that's when there's like some kind of packet like a Ziploc packet of magic corn that's enclosed in that like, hey, the Winter Warlock is sending some magic corn down with you, with this envelope here, so the reindeer can have a snack while they're at your house, or put it out in the yard or something like that, so that the reindeer can smell it and find your house. So it's still the Archelaus, the river god. I'm gonna have to look into that. Santa hanging from Yggdrasil for more powers would be a rather alarming thing for children, but the idea of an Odin-like Santa is interesting. It is. To quote the OCA website, despite his great gentleness of spirit and purity of heart, St. Nicholas was a zealous and ardent warrior for the Church of Christ. He's noted for punching a heretic named Arliss at the First Council of Nicaea. Yeah, he needs to be at that council. Yeah. But then also, I was reading, and this is just too cool to not include somehow. Of course, St. Nicholas, we've got the relics of St. Nicholas, which I believe are in Bari and in Venice. They were taken from Myra, and so his bones. So we've got Santa Claus's bones. We've got St. Nicholas's bones. So, like, how does a story or lore of Santa Claus deal with the situation that, well, you can actually go and see the bones of St. Nicholas? So I think it has to be something maybe non-physical. That Santa Claus is the continuation of St. Nicholas or something, because I was reading, and I believe this is on Wikipedia someplace, that the bones of St. Nicholas weep myrrh. And this has become one of my favorite Santa Claus lores and real life lores. Like, how is it that I didn't know that the bones of Santa Claus, St. Nicholas, and his relics weep myrrh? That's awesome. So the bones of Santa Claus weep one of the gifts the Magi brought the Christ child. Well, I mean, that's awesome. So, I mean, that seems like something that needs to be in a story someplace. I was playing around with some of the imagery of Santa Claus as a bishop, and I put those in the Discord server. And at BGD, like the one where he's wearing the pectoral cross of a bishop. And I was like, you know what, that could he could have like the bones of St. Nicholas if he's more of a spiritual kind of successor of St. Nicholas, or St. Nicholas the spirit re-embodied, rather than actually this is St. Nicholas who has lived since the 4th century or whatever it was, all the way until present day. If it's some kind of like spiritual continuance, then you could put, I think, the like some bone or some relic of St. Nicholas in Santa Claus's pectoral cross. Let's see, which gift are we talking about here? Yeah, so I do too. There are some relic. I always went when I was in Europe to go and see any relic that I could, any relic that was in any kind of place that I went. I always went specifically to go and see it. There are some relics here in the United States, and at one time I was thinking maybe I should do a tour to see some relics here in the U.S. But I've never been able to do that, and it's been a long time since I've looked that up. But there are some relics here in the U.S., so you could do like a relic tour in the United States. Yeah, myrrh, it's a liquid. Yeah, it's a liquid that drops from him, right? So the frankincense is like an incense, right? Whereas the myrrh is a perfume. I believe that's right. So yeah, it's a liquid that his bones weep. Yeah. Supposedly, right. So let's see. Sandalwood? Sandalwood, known to the ancient Romans as liquid gold due to its value, would also be liquid. So, it could also be the myrrh or something like that. Santa Claus has got a vial of myrrh that comes from St. Nicholas's bones or something. I'm going to come up with, I don't know if I'm going to be able to write it right here. but we can at least put what is supposed to be in this. So for letter number 3, this says, I used mid-advent because I was trying to not specifically date them so that there's, you don't know what's going on with the post office, slow during Christmas. And so I was deliberately trying to not put any type of specific date on here. Mid-advent. So we could just say late advent to cover, late advent approaching Christmas Eve. Yeah, which one? Nicaea, they do, well, they did the Nicene Creed. I mean, when I think of the Council of Nicaea, I think about the Nicene Creed being put together there. Here we've got to have, the idea here is that Santa discovers the gremlins. They're back. So they're back. Back when the Winter Warlock was a bad guy, Winter Warlock probably had some gremlins, which is probably why hey, go and talk to the Winter Warlock about this. Maybe he's the one who recognizes that the gremlins used to work for the Winter Warlock when he was evil. Now they're back. Winter Warlock arrives in some kind of cool sleigh. In a snowstorm. But the lantern light, the lantern light needs to lead him like a star. The lantern light led him like a star to Santa's workshop. He's carrying... Oh, in fact, probably he needs to arrive first, then maybe he's the one who clues into the gremlins. A giant sack of magic corn. Then Santa discovers the gremlins. Santa assembles an army of dwarves to take on the gremlins. I mean, at some point, we gotta have something like that told in some way. I think there can be. I think there could be a fight. Now, Santa Claus doesn't also have to describe the whole thing in detail to the kids. Could be a fight between the elves and the gremlins. I do like the idea of there being special weapons from Santa's forge, which also kind of connects to The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, with Father Christmas bringing in the weapons to the children. So Santa Claus in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Father Christmas, also likes to hand dangerous objects to children, right? So that would be like, hi, children, here I come. Here, have some dangerous objects right here. If a cool sword is forged someplace, Santa's forge would be a cool place for that to happen. Special weapon. I don't know if we'll get to add that in here or not from Santa's forge, but at some point it does. Can't say magic corn. Maybe they do that. They take care of the gremlins, then they try, or maybe the gremlins try one last time to snatch the. They try to snatch or spoil the corn. And are stopped. They test the corn. Oh, maybe they need help the gremlins are running away, and one of the reindeer eats the corn, and so that allows them to fly and catch up to the reindeer or something. For children, maybe they talk out their differences rather than fight, but it doesn't have to be a real violent fight. And like Santa Claus can just apply. We can add that in later to a more adult story. But I think that things fight. Maybe this is a good place for like He-Man style fighting. The people fight, but they don't actually get killed, right? Somebody gets tossed someplace. Somebody. I think this needs to be could be a fight between the elves and Grimm, but this is like cartoon style fight. As described. Somebody's thrown into the water and they end up running away, or something. They're all doing like judo throws or something like that. Maybe they test the corn. And it works. We have a test flight. This is a lot to put in a letter. Test flight. All the elves are happy. And the reindeer are ready for the flight. Okay, and then actually we need to write in here also add that the magic corn has been included in this letter. Or the envelope. With instructions to scatter it in the yard on Christmas Eve. So the reindeer can smell it and find the house. Or put it in a bowl by Santa's cookies, and he'll take it up to the reindeer. So we'll go all Santa cookies, we'll take it to the reindeer, and then close out. See you Christmas Eve. Stay good, remain good, and keep the holiday cheer alive. And then sign out from Santa Claus right there. So let's see, Santa Claus's signature, right? Like, how much does this take? Maybe we don't get a PS on that one. I mean, we could just, that's one thing we could do. We could just remove the PS from the other one. I kind of like having it there, but I guess we don't necessarily have to have it. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot to be on one page, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And so maybe I'll be able to finish that this afternoon. And so that would be the 3-letter. I mean, that's pretty cool too. I mean, I think, that's lots. It's not just one letter. It's not just one, kind of, what's probably, like I said, if you can get this, I don't know. I didn't really look up. Do other people send out letters from Santa Claus? If you need one, like it's probably, I imagine there are probably some places that send some out that are really dumb, that are like purposely extremely generic or something like that. This is, I think this is better. So that has a Ravenkeep kind of style. So yeah, Innerlight says, I would say young teens or preteens, old enough to be responsible enough not to believe in Santa, but young enough not to care. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of thinking younger than that. Well, I mean, yeah. So like 11. Yeah, one of this is going out to an 11-year-old. 8. I mean, probably better 6, 7, 8, up to 10, 11, something like that. I have not seen this one. Tomocrat says, I just recalled that scene in Bill Murray's Scrooged where Lee Majors fought off terrorists at Santa's workshop. That's what I was trying to. Yeah, I was. That seems like, and like I said, it's kind of a lot of work to put these together. That's why I was like, well, I just put it up to, print a bunch of them if anybody needs them. I would have liked it. I would have liked it. Of course, something easier would probably be postcards from Santa, but and and having it come 3 times, it's not just a one-off. Build some anticipation for what's going on up at the North Pole and with these, and then like I said, it gives us some world building too. I also have to come up with, if Santa Claus is a bishop, he's married. How do we handle that? So I was also wondering about, well, maybe if he's some kind of spiritual successor to Saint Nicholas, and Saint Nicholas is with him or something, so that maybe that explains why he's married and didn't need to set aside Mrs. Claus, because you don't want him to do that. And he can still be married, but still be married to Mrs. Claus, but still be the Prince Archbishop of the North Pole. All right. Well, okay. So that was different. It was world building, a little bit of world building here. I will try. I need to finish this up. Actually, this is what I'm going to be working on basically all afternoon to get the stickers, the sticker sheet, get these letters finished, get the sticker sheet arranged so that I can send that off and get that printed. So I'll have sticker sheets here. But really the writing is finishing this letter and then this short per the Christmas kitten. Like I only got 750 words to do some additional world building about this and get the story finished that's has not been finished for years about this little kitten who finds a home at the North Pole. So now, see, we can do that later. Mike says, "Gremlin versus elves: the fight for Santa's workshop, the tabletop skirmish game." Yeah, that can come later once everybody gets into that. Okay, so I'm out of here for now. That's what's going on. Maybe next, I want to get back to the RPG stuff, but maybe next, maybe Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday we'll look at this final letter and then purr. I really hope we're able to do that because that would get all the writing done. We can look at it on stream and then it would be sent off for printing. Okay, so later, everybody have a wonderful day. Go forth, be creative, and be productive. I will see you later.